Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Coming up later in the program, we're going to visit with Holly Diederich with Sparkle. And going to chat about, what is Sparkle? I think maybe that's a book. I need to make better notes, don't I? Holly Diederich with Sparkle later in the show. You'll know what it is when we talk about it. Today's Harry Truman Day. I think it might be his birthday, maybe. So I've got a quote from Harry S. Truman. He was a president. You know that?
I did know, yes.
His quote is, it is amazing what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit, end quote. I agree. There are so many times where people kind of get in these big arguments over, who's going to get the credit for it. And at the end of the day, does it really matter? Just get it done. I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to get it done instead of worrying about who gets credit for it?
I kind of like the credit for the stuff that I do.
Do you like the blame, too, though, when it goes wrong? That's what
No.
I'm like, let's just get it done, and if it doesn't go well, I'll give you the credit. Okay, coming up, we've got some special things happening today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, May the 8th, so today is Free Trade Day. It is Truman Day. It is Mothers at the Wall Day, National Animal Disaster Preparedness Day, National Women's Checkup Day, No Socks Day. I should have not wore socks today. Maybe I'll take these off and start celebrating now. It is Student Nurse Day, Time of Remembrance and Reconciliation for those who lost their lives during the Second World War Day.
Wow.
It's also VE Day, World Ovarian Cancer Day, World Red Cross Day, and Red Crescent Day. So we get a lot of stuff going on today. It's a busy day, Heidi.
It is a busy day.
Absolutely is. Which one of those are you going to celebrate?
Probably none of them.
I'm going to celebrate the No Socks Day.
Okay.
Just got to pull these socks off, stash them somewhere for the rest of the day. Then 6 months from now, I'll be like, why do I have socks in this drawer? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
We used to watch TV shows when the network told us to. Then came the DVR, and that changed everything. You could watch what you want, when you want. But you were still stuck paying the ridiculous monthly fees. And they even upcharged you for that DVR. Well, a few months ago, I cut my cable. We were paying a bundle. It was $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we just pay for the internet, and I save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this, too, at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. This story is kind of a scary story that this is even possible. But a 90-year-old woman was locked in a bank vault all night long.
I think we talked about this.
Did we? I don't remember talking
Yeah.
about this. 90-year-old woman was released after accidentally getting herself locked in a bank vault overnight. Police called off their search for the woman after the bank staff found her when they arrived for work.
Wow.
They say the woman was in good condition when she emerged from the vault. It appears she was inside looking at the contents of her safety deposit box when the staff didn't realize it, and they closed the door at the end of the business day. You would just think that somebody would walk in there and check first.
Or at the very least, that the woman would have yelled when they closed the door, and maybe, I suppose,
She
though, it's a
probably
vault. So, I
who
mean,
knows if she even knew that they were closing it,
Hope
She's
she had some
90
food in
years
her
old.
safety deposit box.
What'd you have in there? A Snickers? I'm okay. Thank goodness it was just overnight and not all weekend long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That could
That
have
would
been
be
bad.
bad. There was a story a while back about a dude that got stuck in an elevator, and I think it was for a whole weekend. Like the elevator in their building broke, and he was stuck in there for the whole weekend. Do you remember that? There was like a video online because the elevator had a surveillance video, so it showed him. Like they had the surveillance video when they got to work on Monday, and they saw this guy stuck in there. Like, what's the dude stuck in there? What's going on? And so then that video got put out online, and he had to relieve himself, and there were other things. I think he got paid a handy sum for his pain and suffering for sitting in an
Well,
elevator.
I would sure
all weekend.
hope so, yeah.
So I wonder if this lady's going to get some coin out of this deal. Oh, I was in there. I happened to notice you had some extra money sitting around. You guys locked me in all night. I counted everything. You're $12 short. So anyway, 90-year-old woman locked in a bank vault all night.
Poor thing.
Yeah, and it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Well, an ill-advised trip on a golf cart ended up with a really long drive into a rough spot for a blind man and his guide dog. Yeah, you heard me right. This happened at Peachtree City, Georgia, 25 miles south of Atlanta, about 80 miles of paved golf cart paths, 9,000 registered carts, and residents use these for daily things like going to the grocery store, taking kids to school. But it was never intended to be used by a blind person. This blind person, who happened to be intoxicated at the time, police say a drunken friend, Michael Johnson, gave instructions to a blind man, Samuel McLean, to enable him to negotiate the twists and the turns of the paved path. So apparently the blind man wasn't drunk. We'd read this before, didn't we?
We just talked about it the other day because you were talking about another story where you were like, I'd let a blind guy drive my car.
I was saying like in a parking lot.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying like through a...
This is on a
golf cart path. Yeah,
it's
but
the same thing.
No, that's not what I meant. Anyway, so this is definitely the story we read before. His guide dog was in the cart with them, a golden retriever. The cart came to a sudden stop when they hit a parked car. I shouldn't laugh about that because it's a good thing nobody was hurt. But there we go. Found the story. Didn't even know I was looking for it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Some things homemade are really good, right? Like homemade cookies, homemade lemonade, maybe not so much with like homemade fireworks. Yeah, it's usually a bad place to do. That was news to 35-year-old Jason Peltz of Macedonia, Ohio. He was, quote, testing homemade explosives, end quote,
Wow.
inside of his home when something went wrong. Really? What could have possibly gone wrong, Jason? You're testing explosives inside
In
your
the
home.
house.
Well, something, again, quote, went wrong in testing these explosives. The ensuing explosion blew out all of the home's windows, knocked the kitchen cabinets off the wall, knocked the refrigerator over. Amazingly, Jason lived. He was shortly thereafter arrested on charges of manufacturing dangerous materials because you're not supposed to, quote, test explosives in your home, end quote. That's not a good thing to do.
No.
There's a video of a guy that has like some little canister of like some flammable thing where he lights it and it explodes like in his face, and it knocks his glasses off and all that and turns his face black.
Yeah,
is that a real video or is that
I
is
don't
that
know,
fake?
but it's been shared many,
It's been shared,
many,
and
many,
it looks
many
like
times.
his shirt changes, and it looks like it's fake. But there are other people going, no, that's because of the gunpowder blowing up in his face.
Yeah, I don't
So,
know.
I don't know. All I know is this guy had something even worse than that. Knocked all the windows out, knocked his refrigerator over. This dude was not thinking when he put this together. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day. A new PR nightmare for United Airlines. Let's just pause right here and go over a couple of the things over the last few weeks that they've been in the news for. Anything good?
No.
No.
Not at all.
First of all, they dragged the dude off the airplane, and then it's like almost like they came out and said that they were justified in doing that. Instead of just saying, hey, we're really... They should have just either say nothing or come up with something positive, but it was like they were defending. Like,
Yeah.
no, we did everything was fine. It was all within our... we were okay. It was justified. We're like, even if it was, the court of public opinion right now thinks that it wasn't. So
Right.
just shut up, man. Stop it. And then they dragged some more people off an airplane that were going on their
Yep.
honeymoon. Well, now they killed a bunny. Yeah. A giant, cuddly bunny was flying from Britain to its new owners in Chicago, and it died somewhere on the United Airlines flight. So now they're being accused
Okay, but that's not their
of
fault.
killing
The bunny died
the
on
Easter
the
bunny.
plane.
So I don't know exactly what happened. Can you imagine being in the PR
That's
department
different.
there Wouldn't it just stink to be
That
a
one would be an easy one. It's like, come on.
Bunnies
We're
die
not
all the
killing
time.
the rabbit.
you know?
We had no choice. We had an employee on standby, and there were no more seats. We
We had
couldn't
to-
get rid of the passengers, so we had to get rid
We
of
flung
the
the
bunny.
bunny out at 35,000 feet. Now that's a problem too? Come on. You guys need to get your priorities straight. I don't think that's how the bunny died, but just in case it is, then that's bad. I would just not want to be a PR person for them right now.
No.
That would not be a good job. Nordstrom's trying to sell some jeans that are pre-stained with mud. Have we talked about these?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
$425 for a pair of jeans. I thought we talked about them. Doctors at a Chinese hospital removed an 8-inch metal spoon from the stomach of a student who swallowed the utensil accidentally. We talked about that too?
Yeah.
Heidi's over here saying yes. How about this one? A study in the UK found the average steering wheel has twice as many germs as a toilet seat. What are you doing on your steering wheel, people? That is kind of gross, isn't
Well,
it?
everything that you touch, and then you get in your car, and your hands are on your steering wheel for a long time, so
I suppose.
it all transfers.
Lisa Daly, author of Stop Getting Dumped, is a new book on how women can find a husband. She says women can meet and marry the right man if they follow her step-by-step guide. In fact, she guarantees it, or she'll refund your money if you don't find a husband within 3 years. So you got 3 whole years to find it.
And she's got 3 years to spend your money.
So I was just going to say, 3 years from now, good luck finding her. She'll be gonski. Like, where'd she go? I don't know. She did write a book, How to Get a Bunch of Money from Crazy Women and Leave the Country Before They Know It. You should buy that book. According to Japanese government, the nation has about 5,400 homeless who primarily who live primarily in internet cafes where they have access to the internet 24 hours a day. So 5,400 homeless people in Japan that have better internet access than I do half the time. Danish researchers can offer some reassurance if you're concerned about your cell phone. They say, don't worry, your device is probably safe. It's the biggest study ever to examine the possible connection between cell phones and cancer, and they found no evidence of any link, suggesting that billions of people who are rarely more than a few inches from their phones really shouldn't have any special health concerns. This Danish study of more than 350,000 people conclude there was no difference in cancer rates between people who have cell phones for about a decade than those who did not. So, have you heard about that? The whole people trying to link that to that?
Yeah. Brain cancer is what I've heard.
Do you believe it at all? Do you think there's something to that, or do you agree with the Danes?
Well, you know, I really don't know. I'm not ever on my phone enough to be of concern with it anyway.
She doesn't
I don't talk
answer.
on the phone.
If you ever try to call her, she won't answer. Leave a message or you'll never hear back.
Text me.
Yeah, that's
Just
what she
text me.
wants. And our final story, federal authorities have announced nearly 24 safety violations issued to an auto parts manufacturer after a bride-to-be who worked at an Alabama plant was crushed by a robotic machine.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That'll ruin your afternoon.
Yeah, that's not good. So that's really sad. I'm sorry to hear that. Coming up in a bit, we hopefully have something a little more positive than that. It's a pretty rough way to end the program today. But this has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
80s in the Sand will be happening this November in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
And that'll be here before you know it.
Join us and have a blast with 80s in the Sand.
An all-inclusive vacation with some of the greatest bands of the 80s.
Plus, you can meet some 80s icons from the movies and television as well.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today we've got a guest we're going to be visiting with, Holly Diederich, and she is a sparklepreneur. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Hello.
Hello. So let's explain what a sparklepreneur is.
So I work with women who want to start and grow online businesses, and a sparklepreneur has to do with a lot about my brand. I'm very sparkly and fun, and that's why I think business should be, sparkle, whatever that means to you. For me, in the literal sense, I love to throw glitter everywhere, but it doesn't have to be necessarily rocking rhinestones and glitter every day. It can just mean you leaving your trail of glitter, whatever that means to you, all over the world, all over the internet, whatever your business does.
Nice. That's a good idea. When you meet people, you're going to leave an impression, so make it a sparkly impression.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of people who are starting online businesses, the women that I work with, they're they really want to leave that legacy behind them. That's really important to them for them to go beyond what they do and create this big empire. And that's a lot of what your Trail of Glitter means.
So the women that you work with, would you say that most of them are coming from the workforce into this, or are they coming from maybe raising kids and doing this instead of going into the workforce? Where are they typically coming from?
Both directions. I work with women who are currently working a 9-to-5 job, and their soul is just sucked out of them. They're sick of working for somebody else. They're sick of having to answer to somebody else, and they just know that their purpose is greater than this corporate box that they're being put in. And then I also work with a lot of women who are very passionate, who become moms, and they get wrapped up in being a mom in the day-to-day of changing diapers and getting spit up on, and they just know that they're meant to do more than that. Even though being a mom is so fulfilling, I'm a mom of 2. I have a 2- and 4-year-old. It's one of my favorite things that I do in my life. But I just know that I need to do more and be more than just a mom for my kids.
Absolutely. I'm on your Facebook page right now, and it's fun. I see that you do Facebook Live, which is always fun. And so for people who want to see you in addition to hearing you, they can jump on your Facebook page, and it's facebook.com/sparklepreneur. So that's kind of her brand. That's her name. That's her thing. That's cool. And on here, I see there's something called the 10K formula. What is that?
Yeah, so when I first started my business, I just blasted into the online world. I don't even have a website. I've been doing this for over a year. I've been an online marketer for over 2 years. And I got hung up in my first business on the techie stuff, on the website thing. And in my second business, I said, you know what, I'm just going to come out there roaring and just do what I do without having to deal with putting together a website and all of that. So it's kind of my story on how I blasted into the online world and built this big, beautiful, successful business with really simple, strategic stuff.
Oh, that's really cool. So when people first decide to, dip their toe in the online business pool, it can be kind of a scary thing. This if you've never done anything like this before, it's kind of the unknown. It's the uncharted territory. What kind of advice do you give somebody who maybe is thinking about doing this and wanting to do this to get started? What would you say would be the first step they should take?
I think the first step that they should take is to find somebody who is doing what they do or knows what they want to do, and get that support and get that help and that guidance with a mentor or a program or wherever you need to start. Because my first business, I took that DIY route. I was like, okay, I'm smart enough, I'm hardworking enough, I'm savvy enough, I could really figure this out on my own. And what ended up happening is I got super burned out, working 10, 15-hour days and trying to do everything myself, like my website, which is why I don't have one anymore. And it's coming, but it's just being outsourced. But getting that support and help, that's the first thing I did in my business. And I just looked for somebody who got me and could really help me put my vision out there in a really big way.
That's really cool. I'm scrolling through your Facebook page while you're talking and looking at all the fun stuff on here. You definitely like sparkly glitter stuff, don't you?
I do. When I did my branding photo shoot, my photographer and I literally threw glitter all over the city of Chicago. So it was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
And I'm a big believer in having lots of fun in your business. So building a brand that is very much around you and what you love and gets you excited.
Well, and Chicago can use some sparkle too, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's a little cold here right now.
And I notice even your computer is kind of sparkly, isn't it?
Absolutely. My laptop definitely has a sparkle to it. And I'm in my living room right now, and I'm looking at my dresser in my living room, and I have these little sparkly knobs. And ever since I was a little girl, I've always been attracted to glitter and sparkles. So I think it's just really important, whoever you are, that needs to come out in your brand, because it's very important when people buy from you that they feel like they know you instead of just what you're selling.
Very cool. Again, our guest today, Holly Diederich, and she's the owner of, well, I shouldn't say owner, she is the, what would the proper way to say that? You're a sparklepreneur, so you're an entrepreneur, but an online business owner? Is that how you'd be described?
Yeah, so my official title is Business Success Stylist. And
Ooh.
I love to work with women who really want to step into the role as the CEO of their business. They're not into burnout. They're not into DIY. They want to step into that big role, that big picture role, and build a big, beautiful online empire.
Nice. So is there a product that you're selling then, or what is it that you're actually selling?
So I have all different types of products, small price point trainings, and opportunity to work one-on-one with me by application for my higher-end programs. For example, right now I'm putting together a mastermind of select women who really want to take their business to the next level, and we're kicking off that in a retreat in Vegas. And so it's 2 days live with me in Vegas, digging at your business. And then I'm gifting all the ladies a ticket to the Britney Spears concert. So again, it's all about fun and business domination. And then that kicks off a 6-week mastermind together, which is just a community and a group of women who all want to do the same thing. So all different types of things that I do.
That's awesome. And that sounds like a fun little weekend.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. And I think it's really important because especially with women, women tend to get caught up in the day-to-day, and they can tend to get caught up in, being caretakers for other people. And it's really about just stepping out and saying, I could do this for me, and I can have fun in my business, and I can live the life that I want. And if I want a business where I can go to the gym in the morning and work a couple hours during the day and then be a mom later, or whatever that is that's important to you, it's okay to have it all. It's okay to not be attached to your business. Again, a lot of people think that money just comes with grinding and hustling, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Nice. Again, our guest today, Holly Diederich. Holly, thank you for chatting with us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
And her Facebook page, for those of you who like to watch Facebook Live, you got to check that out. Facebook.com/sparklepreneur. And I'm going to warn you, there's a lot of glitter. That's okay. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever, or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Mary Lou Henner portrayed Elaine Nardo on TV's Taxi.
Okay.
So there you go. It's a fun fact. I'm not sure why that's such a fun fact. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It says here, Thelma on Mama Harper, Thelma, who is Mama Harper on TV's Mama's Family,
Yeah.
was played by Vicki Lawrence.
Yes, I know.
None of these are really... Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Mel Gibson provided the voice of the legendary Captain John Smith in Disney's feature Pocahontas.
Okay.
Did you not know any of these yet?
I didn't know the Pocahontas one because I didn't like Pocahontas.
Okay, here's
so-
one I didn't know. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Ludwig von Drake is Donald the Duck's uncle. Or Donald Duck's uncle.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
British doctors say many women who try to juggle family and career are suffering from a new malady called stressorexia. And they lose weight because they're too busy to eat properly. So, meanwhile...
for me, that causes weight gain. 'cause
And-
I'm not eating properly.
I don't know if it's the same British studies, but another British study suggests that there's an idea of male menopause going around that they say is nothing more than a myth promoted by drug companies. So they're like, hey, that male menopause thing isn't for real, but we just came up with one called stressorexia, and that one is real. Thanks, British doctors. A couple of fun facts for you right there on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Have you thought of starting a home-based business but didn't like the idea of calling family and friends? This top-quality fitness and health products company lets you take advantage of their advertising power to reach people who wish to add a few hundred or a few $1,000s a week to their income by following a simple system. Plus, everyone who joins the team after you benefits you as well. To learn more about how you can leverage your time to help others get healthy and create wealth from home, call Scott Smith at 866-741-7242. That's 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We have different tastes when it comes to a lot of different things. Like, I have seen the program on TV where they have the little houses, and I thought, oh, that'd be really cool. And you're like, Not so much.
No.
It's not your thing.
No.
Now, the struggle I would have is I have way too much stuff. I could never fit it in a tiny house.
And you can never get rid of your stuff. You are very attached to your
I have gotten
stuff.
rid of so much stuff since you and I have gotten married. Mostly because you throw it away while I'm gone. But I have gotten rid of so much stuff. I mean, my sanity, so many things. Anyway, imagine having a house that you don't even have to build it. But instead, you go on the computer and you click print. And then bzz, 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 bzz. Yeah, that's what's happening. Thanks to 3D printing, and there's like an evolution of this new technology, there's a company that was able to do exactly that. They printed out a tiny home in 24 hours. Apis Core, a startup based in San Francisco, used a mobile 3D printer to construct a 400-square-foot igloo-style home, complete with a bedroom and a bathroom and a hall. In the
400 square feet with a bedroom and a bathroom and a hall.
Yeah, there's plenty of room. And it was in the Moscow region of Russia. The printer pumped out layers of concrete mixture that last for 175 years. Now, how do they know that? They just came up with this stuff.
Yeah.
They hope it's going to last that long. Could be next June and they could be falling apart. I mean, let it go for 10 years and get back to me. If they're still good, maybe I'll think of it. But it's a printer that prints utilizing concrete.
Yeah, no thanks.
A concrete 3D printer. I think it's fascinating that we have the technology to do this kind of stuff. I just don't know if I'm quite ready to sign on until we've had it around long enough to know that it's not going to fall down on
I'm
you while
sure
you're
it's
sleeping.
not cheap either.
Probably not. And who wants to live in a 400 square foot igloo?
Exactly.
I mean, I think I got a pup tent that's bigger than that. Anyway, keep up the good work, guys. If you'd like to know more about this, I have a link to it on our Facebook page. I just thought it was fascinating. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
We used to watch TV shows when the network told us to. Then came the DVR, and that changed everything. You could watch what you want, when you want. But you were still stuck paying the ridiculous monthly fees. And they even upcharged you for that DVR. Well, a few months ago, I cut my cable. We were paying a bundle. It was $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we just pay for the internet, and I save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this, too, at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com. Have you ever heard anybody say that red meat is bad for the environment?
Yes.
They're trying to have you cut it from your diet and eat chicken and fish and all that. Well, the Green Crowd has urged people to buy more locally produced food because it requires less fuel, to ship things from here to there. A new study's found that you can actually help the environment even more by skipping red meat. So they're saying if you go through this study, the production of red meats is nearly 150% more greenhouse gas intensive than chicken or fish. The good news for beef lovers is that even if you skip just one day a week, you'll eliminate more greenhouse gases than if you would buy all of your foods from local sources. So they're saying one day a week, skip the red meat, have different, and you're going to make a big impact.
We don't eat red meat every day.
I don't know.
I like chicken. I like turkey. I like ham.
I eat red meat every day. I just wait till you're looking the other way and I snarf down some red meat. I have some in my pocket right now.
I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
Don't. I love beef jerky, so I would do that, but I actually don't. I love red meat, but, I could probably go a day without red meat. We do. Do we?
All the time.
Do I?
Yes.
See, I'm already doing this. So chalk it up to John as an environmentalist. Didn't even know it. Coming up, we've got a story about a very fun project that this company got to work on. I wish I could have been a part of it. We'll tell you all about it here in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, have you ever heard one of these stories that we tell here and just thought, man, I wish I could have been a part of that?
Yeah.
There was a company that was making a commercial that I would have loved to have been a part of. You can actually see the finished product on our Facebook page. We'll tell you all about that in a bit. But it's a company that you may have heard of, Moe's Southwest Grill. Their subtlety, not so much on the marketing menu. They say, why bother touting taste or fast casual dining experience when dropping a microwave oven from a helicopter or blowing up a refrigerator or freezer is so much more satisfying? All told, 8 ovens and 2 freezers were sacrificed. This happened in Monroe, Georgia, in a field, to make a commercial to promote who they are and what they do. So blowing up a bunch of appliances and dropping things out of helicopters. Doesn't that sound like a fun way to get attention?
A lot of fun.
If you'd like to see the video, I've got a link to it. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. We should make a commercial for our radio program. Let's blow up a washer and dryer or something. It has nothing to do with what we have. It has nothing to do with them either. I'm just saying. John and Heidi Show. Not available on your washer and dryer. I don't know. Maybe we'll get back to that one. Coming up, we've got some fun stuff we're going to chat about here in a bit.
John
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. It's such an exciting program. My wife has checked out already and started, what are you doing, manicure? What is that? What are you doing over there?
Just lotion.
I'm just glad that all the squirty noises happened before we came on the radio. People would have thought I was having chili today or something. That was an obnoxious amount of noise coming from that side of the room. I'm over here and I'm like, what is going on? She's squirting out a bunch. What is that, hand lotion?
Lotion.
Wow.
It's lotion.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed my hands were...
Yeah, I noticed too from way over here. It was all the noise. Got a story here that I think is really kind of funny and kind of disgusting as well. So just be ready for that. Huntington, New York, a shoplifter chose the wrong escape route after scaled a barbed wire fence, which that sounds like a lot of work, ran through the woods, that sounds like a lot of work, and then jumped into a drain thinking that, hey, all's clear, right? No, it was a sewage drain. Yeah. Christian Vitale was being chased by some Foot Locker employees outside of Walt Whitman Mall. Officers joined pursuit, in which Christian made the mistake of jumping into the wrong place. He went into a sewer drain, found himself in a reservoir. He described it as thick as oil, filled with discarded tires and refrigerators. Police plucked the 26-year-old out of the muck and arrested him. Do you think they had to hose him off before they threw him in the back of the car?
I would hope so.
In a sewage drain. Well, moral of the story is here, first of all, for you, Christian Vitale, don't steal things. That's bad. But second of all, if you do, don't jump into the sewer to try to get away. Where did you think you were going to go?
Well, he probably thought nobody would bother trying to follow him in there.
Well, they didn't follow him in. They just waited because there was nowhere for him to go. Like, well, now that we see you stuck down in the sewer drain there, we're going to just stand here and wait for the authorities. We're going to hose you off and take you to jail. All right, coming up, we've got some good news. We're going to get to that here in just a moment. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I've got some good news. You ready for good news?
I am ready for good news.
All right, this is some good news, and you can follow along on our Facebook page. I got a link to it. We'll tell you about that here in a bit, but imagine finding your wind chimes have been stolen. Would that upset you? It would for a lot of people. And that probably would have upset Chrissy Marie of Lakewood, Washington. But there was an explanatory note that made her not mad at all. It made her actually kind of happy. She came back to find that her wind chimes were missing, and taped to her door was a note containing a $5 bill. The note was signed by somebody named Jake, obviously from the handwriting, just a little boy, not very old. Note said, "I'm sorry we stole your wind chimes. Our mom died and liked butterflies, so my sister and I took it to put by our window. I'm sorry, this is the only money I have. Please do not be mad at me, Jake."
Oh, poor little guy.
So Marie, who had lost her mom when she was just 5, was very sympathetic. As she told the local news, she doesn't condone the theft, but at least Jake was trying to do the right thing. And she has another message for Jake and the sister. She wants to return the money. Plus, she has 2 other butterfly wind chimes that she'd like to give them as well.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
I think so. It's really neat. After hearing this inspiring story, she wants to make sure that they know that all is forgiven as well. So if you'd like to read this, I've got a link to it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. That is just a neat little story.
That is neat.
And,
it's really neat.
I'm sad for the kiddo, and it's neat that I'm glad that she wasn't angry, and, that she saw it from their perspective and realized that, you know what, they could have just taken him and run. But they took him and stuck a note, and they gave some money, and they did what they thought was the right thing. So, that's really neat. Again, that happened in Lakewood, Washington. So that's where that happened. A link on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
Time now for a bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a special guest joining us right now. We have doon-wintz, and he is with Wholly Wholesome, and we're going to be talking about kind of an interesting topic. This month is Celiac Awareness Month, and this is something that a lot of people are kind of unaware of what all this is, but I'm sure you're going to recognize when we talk about gluten-free. We see a lot of things that say gluten-free these days, and a lot of that has to do with Celiac Awareness Month, or not necessarily Celiac Awareness Month, but with celiac disease. And we've got Doon on the line right now. How are you, sir?
I'm terrific, thank you.
Well, we're excited to have you on the program. Now, this is something that, again, this has been around for a long time, but over the last couple of years, we've been seeing the things on the shelves, quite a few things that are gluten-free, and your company actually has quite a few products that are gluten-free, don't you?
Yes, we do. We believe in providing products for people who have food intolerances or allergies, and gluten is one of the 8 common allergens. So that's one of the items one of the ingredients we focus on keeping out.
Now, Celiac Awareness Month, has this been something that's been celebrated for a long time, or is that a fairly new holiday or event?
I don't know that I call it a holiday because people who have celiac have a lot of challenges to deal with. It's just to try and raise awareness so people understand it. It's been going on for a long time, but as the awareness of celiac disease has grown, so has the following. And you noted that there's a lot of more gluten-free products on the shelf, and they're there for a couple of different reasons. One is, and the biggest push has been from people with celiac disease, and celiac disease is as a disease of the immune system, and what happens with that is the body does not recognize gluten as it recognizes it as an invader. So anything that is touching gluten, the body tries to wash out of the system as soon as possible, so that it doesn't get into its bloodstream. And gluten is a protein that's found in wheat flour, barley, rye, and for the most part oats, because oats are produced often in the same facilities. So it's assumed that it has gluten because of the cross-contamination. So if somebody has celiac, and people can become a celiac at any point in their life. There's a gene that many people carry that might get turned off at any point. It might be when they're young. It might be after some traumatic event in their life, an injury or a blow to their immune system, a heavy sickness, and all of a sudden that gene will switch on and they'll become celiac. And they won't know it, and what will happen is they'll be going their normal way and they'll be eating gluten, and all of a sudden, they'll start to feel like, man, I don't feel good. I feel my stomach hurts. It could be a ton of different symptoms. You could have listlessness. You could have bloating. You could have irritable bowel syndrome. You could have a lot of different things that people just say, oh, man, I don't feel so good. And for many, many years, people would go to their doctor, and their doctor would say, yeah, no, you're just imagining it, or, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. And people would say, well, I guess this is the way life is for me. I just must feel like junk. And until, doctors started to become aware of celiac disease, and more people, diagnosed it. And there's no cure for celiac disease. The only treatment is to get off gluten, and which means for most people, it's getting off your traditional bread. Gluten in bread is what it gives it its strength. So if you have a really nice Italian bread with a great crust and all these airy pockets inside and this nice real chew, well, you can thank gluten for that, because that's what gluten does. It gives strength to bread. And gluten is found in many, many things that you wouldn't think gluten is found in. Things as mundane as soy sauce, because wheat is used as an additive, or sometimes a thickener, sometimes a stabilizer in a lot of different food products. And people who are celiac have all different types of sensitivities to it. So if you're highly sensitive, you have just the tiniest bit of gluten, what the body does is anything you eat at that point, it just washes it out of the digestive system. So you could almost literally starve to death nutritionally if you're eating, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories a day are really healthy foods. But if you're having a nice whole wheat, maybe a vegetable whole wheat sandwich, and you're celiac, the body sees that whole wheat come in and they says, flush it all out, and all those other nutrients go away, and it kind of trashes the digestive system on the way out. So, if you're celiac, you're probably going to be intolerant to dairy as well, because you're all the villi in your stomach has been compromised. It's really a tough thing, but it's very different than an allergy. There's a lot of people who are also allergic to wheat or gluten, and they have a different reaction, but they still can't eat gluten. And then there are many people who find that they feel better if they don't eat gluten because it's an inflammatory. So for some people, it makes their joints swell. For people who have autism, they find that if you take an autistic child and you take them off of gluten, the behavior improves dramatically. So it's an interesting thing. And then there are people who find out that gluten, they eat gluten, they can control their weight better. So there's a lot of different people being gluten-free, but it's the celiacs that have the most difficult time because they just can't have it, or it really hurts them badly.
Yeah, so for them, it's not necessarily a choice. For them, it is, hey, this is absolutely necessary.
It is, and there are many who are celiacs who are on a gluten-free diet that every once in a while say, well, I just got to cheat. And then they pay the price, they pay the price later. They hurt. Sometimes they have to, lie down for a couple hours. It's a tough life, but things have gotten better for them over the past couple of years as more products have come out, because other gluten, there's those other consumers, whether they're allergies or whether they have the inflammatory issues or whether they just use it for weight control, that have made the market bigger. That means now there's more product for celiacs and anybody who wants to stay off gluten to enjoy.
Very nice. Again, May is Celiac Awareness Month. Our guest today, doon-wintz, he's with Wholly Wholesome. Now, you've got some gluten-free substitutions for people who like to bake and they want to still have the things that they love, but they just can't do it anymore. What are some substitutions for, like, when people are baking?
Well, there's a couple of different flour blends that you can use. You can make your own flour blend. You can go out to a store. You can pick up a gluten-free flour blend. There are a lot more of them. But if you want to make your own, you take a cup and a half of rice flour and 3/4 of a cup of tapioca starch and 3/4 of a cup of cornstarch. And that will make a pretty good gluten-free flour that you can use in most baking. If somebody's not allergic to nuts, then almond flour can be substituted just about a 1-to-1 ratio. You just add a little bit of egg as a binder. And that's really nice. It's good for things like cookies. I find it great for cookies, but a lot of people who have allergies or food intolerances have more than one, so sometimes the almond does not work. But it's a really great substitute. And then you can find some good things to make your own gluten-free items that you don't have to start from scratch. I mean, we have in our Wholly gluten-free line, we have allergy-friendly pie shell, which is free of gluten, plus the other 8 common allergens: soy, dairy, eggs, nuts, peanuts, and fish and shellfish. So you can make a pie without having to worry about gluten, and it's really good. Or we also have a pizza dough ball that people can make a great stromboli or calzone or flatbread or garlic knots or pizza. So there's a lot of really good substitutes out there, getting better. There's some that still don't taste much better than the package that they come in. They might as well just rip off a piece of that cardboard. But it's getting better, and we're working to try and help make it better so that people who suffer from celiac or other food allergies don't have to sacrifice their taste.
Well, Doon, thank you for doing what you guys are doing. That's really nice of you because, for people who, over the course of time develop celiac and they're all of a sudden, not only are they not feeling well because, if they get the wrong products inside their system, they're not feeling good. They got to change their lifestyle and start eating differently. And all of a sudden they can't eat things that they've loved for years. It's really nice that you guys are putting products out there to say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not exactly the same, but here's a substitute that's gonna be close and give people that opportunity to kind of have a little normalcy back in their diet. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, my pleasure. One of the things that I think is important, I think consumers should hold the brands that they support to a standard of not sacrificing the taste. In our mind, if it doesn't taste as good or better than a product that has gluten in it, we've really failed. And we've gotten a lot. We've had some failures over the years, but we've gotten a lot better. And the product that we make right now, I would be proud to serve to somebody who, whether or not they have a gluten intolerance or allergy intolerance, that they could handle it and enjoy it. And the other thing I think people should hold their brands to a standard, of the companies that buy their food from a standard, is if it's about an allergen, it should really be produced in an allergen-free facility, free of the at least a significant number of the allergens, because there's so much chance for cross-contamination. And somebody who is really sensitive to a food allergy, like nuts, where they might have an anaphylactic reaction, or somebody's a highly sensitive celiac, or even just the slightest bit of gluten is going to send them off. Looking for something to produce in a dedicated facility is somewhat of an insurance policy. It doesn't guarantee it, but most food is made by humans.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, but humans make mistakes. So where you have a situation where it's done on shared equipment, even though they might be testing, stuff can slip through, gluten and nut flours and things like that. They're airborne, and even the best clean down procedures are not really, in my mind, adequate protection for somebody who has a food allergy.
Absolutely.
Or celiac.
Well, Doon, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today. If people would like to find out more about Wholly Wholesome, where can they find you guys?
Well, they can find us at www.holly-wholesome.com. That's WHOLLY, or Wholly Wholesome on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest. And actually, the best way to find out about us is to go to your local natural food store or your local co-op. Ask the people there about gluten-free or allergy-friendly products. I hope they're carrying our product. Most of the natural food stores do around, or you can go to places like Sprouts or Whole Foods or Lucky's or supermarkets like Kroger and Wegmans and Safeway and Albertsons and the Fresh Market. Many of them carry our product, and if they don't carry our product, they're going to carry a lot of really good options for gluten-free and allergy-friendly consumers. And more importantly, they have people who are passionate about natural foods and passionate about helping the customers. So go and speak to these people, find out what they know, and ask them for help. And I think your listeners will be satisfied that there are people out there who can be a good resource for them.
Well, Doon, thank you for doing what you guys do. I appreciate your time today.
My pleasure. Have a great day, and just enjoy the spring.
There you go. Again, doon-wintz, and he is with Wholly Wholesome. And again, this is Celiac Awareness Month, so great time to chat with him about some different options that are available for people who have celiac disease. And for those of you who think you might have that, if you want to check into that, this would be a good month to do it. There's a lot of information available right now. And again, you can also learn more at holly-wholesome.com, and you can also find them online on Facebook. Look up Wholly Wholesome. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.